Hey everybody, this is Orion saying here with Detroit Free Press, and I have someone to introduce.
This is Sabin. I'm making my debut as kind of an insider covering Michigan State, and the Big Ten at large.
So today, Reiner got his first look at Michigan football, a 52-0 win over Rutgers. I think Michigan dominated in all three phases of the game.
Absolutely.
Offense, defense, special teams. What stood out to you the most?
Well, I just thought it just looked like a more smooth operation, especially with obviously Josh Gaddis moving down from the box to the sideline. I think was a helpful thing, but the one thing that I thought was interesting that in the news conference was that Harbaugh kind of alluded to some of these disconnect that kind of precipitated some of the changes that they tried to instill before this game to lead to the success that they had, and some of those things probably should have been resolved many months ago. Even having Gaddis up in the or down on the sideline versus in the box, usually get those things kind of ironed out before the season starts.
I will say today, Michigan's offense, I'll take it back a little bit further, but Michigan's offense has been saying for a while now that they practice really well, things look good in practice, and why isn't that translating over to the games? Today it actually did translate over to the games. It looked really easy. Aside from a few unsuccessful runs, I thought Michigan moved the ball with ease, both on the ground and in the air. There were some pretty big holes up front.
Right.
Patterson was kept clean. He made some easy throws. And Michigan's receivers were open for the most part downfield.
Yeah.
It looked really easy.
Yeah, it did, and I thought that the concepts were pretty good, and again, it gave Patterson a way to develop a rhythm. His completion percentage was 74%, I think, in the game, and so that's a pretty darn good percentage, and indicative of the fact that they were trying to give him maybe easier throws or stuff that he can definitely complete to get in that rhythm, then get that offense kind of going. And I think scoring on that first possession was huge, obviously, given their problems with turnovers and other issues in the red zone as well. They were strong in the red zone in this game too. So that was
strong on third down too. Because last week at Wisconsin they were 0 of 10 on third down. So a big deal to be way better in that area this week. One thing I noticed to build on what you were saying is that early on, the first drive, Patterson was given two really easy throws. He made them. Right. And it paid off because the second one, Nico Collins breaks a tackle and he just goes 48 yards for a touchdown. That's the type of receiving core Michigan has. They have guys who can make those type of plays. Donovan Peoples-Jones is back today. I think he had 4 catches for 63 yards. So he's another big play potential receiver. They have Tariq Black, Ronnie Bell leads the team in receiving and receptions. So they have some weapons there. If they can get that rhythm and consistency going in the passing game, I think they can do some things there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think again that kind of leads to that whole speed and space concept that Gaddis was promoting. Obviously that means getting the ball out to the edges, and that's what they did in this game.
We'll touch on the defense before wrapping things up. Rutgers is Rutgers, but if you're Michigan, this is what you wanted, right? Last week you couldn't stop the run. This week you completely shut down the run. Right. So.
Yeah, and the physicality was there too. I think they were missing that aspect. They were. Getting blown off the ball against Wisconsin here. It looked like they not only were penetrating and creating, lost yardage situations, they were also delivering some big blows to, Sikowski, the quarterback. And so, I think that was instrumental in helping them to be able to shut them out in this game.
Well, one guy that really stood out to me today was Cam McGrone. Middle linebacker making his first career start. He only had 1 tackle, but he was all over the field. He was dropping back in coverage. Passing guys off across the middle of the field. They used him on blitzes. And the way he blitzed, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it was somewhat reminiscent of Devin Bush, just the way he explodes and gets to the quarterback. The timing is there too. The timing is something that people maybe take for granted, but the timing, being able to time your blitz is really hard to not let the offense know that you're coming. I think he did a really good job today. He didn't get any sacks, but I think that's another aspect that Michigan's defense can add by playing him more.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think again, it's interesting to see that this team is continue to evolve at this point in the season. They're still, I think, trying to find themselves to some extent, even with personnel and certainly with scheme and such. And I think they're that's an ongoing process at this stage.
So we'll end by saying it's Rutgers, but Michigan did what it was supposed to do. It covered a spread for the first time in a really long time for all those bettors out there. Yeah,
by a large margin.
Yeah. So they played well. They answered some questions, and next week They'll get a much more difficult test in Iowa.
Sure.
Number 14 Iowa will be here next week. So stay tuned for more coverage. DetroitFreePress.com. For Reiner, I'm Ryan. Thanks for following.
Yeah. Thank you.